Hello everyone and a happy new year. Welcome back to my channel. Real quick, I want to remind you to go ahead and press the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos like this. Anyways, I figured now is the perfect time. Since people are setting their New Year's resolutions, they are trying to figure out how they want to improve in many areas of life, but especially in terms of fitness, I would give you some of my tips for tracking your progress in terms of physical activity. So let's go ahead and get to it. No need to make this long. So there are several different ways in which you can track your progress, and here are just a few of them. So the first one is being able to have a number goal. So perhaps you want to get to 30 normal push-ups. And right now you can only do 2 or 3 and the rest you need to do on your knees, which is completely fine, but you know what your goal is. So in order to start that, you're going to want to see how many you can do of normal push-ups. Say you get to 3 and you know that your goal is 30. So then you have a number that you're wanting to reach. Time goal. This is where you try to see how many things you can do in a specific amount of time, and then you reevaluate it a month, 2 months, 3 months, as frequently as you want to see if you are able to do more within that time frame. So for an example, you give yourself 30 seconds to see how many sit-ups you can do. Perhaps the first time you time it, you can only do 15. Well, hopefully over time, after you do different workouts, you really work on it, the next time you track your progress, maybe you're able to do 18 within 30 seconds. So that would be a time goal. The next is a progression goal. I think these are really great. That is where you identify different ways to progress in a certain movement. Maybe you want to be able to do a jump squat. Well, a progression goal would be to first work towards being able to do a normal squat. Then after that, perhaps you just do air squats and eventually get into a jump squat. And you can even bring in multiple things. Perhaps it's both a progression goal and a number goal. Once you are able to do it, then you say, okay, I want to be able to do 10 of these. It's being able to grow and strengthen in a specific type of exercise so that you're not just doing the beginner version, but you're able to do a more advanced version. Next is a weight or resistance goal. This is a really good one, especially if you have a gym. Right now, it might not be the best for a lot of people in lockdown, because if you are like myself, you only have one type of weight, so you can't really do too much with that. However, if you have a gym, it is a great way to track your strength and your growth. So perhaps you're doing a dumbbell press. You do 10 reps of 4 kilograms. Well, then later on, you start to add more weight to it. And then in a couple months, when you track your progress again to see what you've done, perhaps you were able to move up and now you're at 6 kilograms and you're able to do 10 of them. So there you go. That is being able to check it with weights. And then another thing with resistance, sometimes resistance isn't always weights. Sometimes it could be a band. For example, maybe you want to go from normal push-ups to being able to do push-ups with a band. That is a great way to also add resistance. The next is distance. This is a great one if you're doing running, walking, swimming, bicycling, any type of movement where you can see how far you go, whether that's you're on an elliptical or you're outside. And so for this, you can either make a goal of how far you want to be able to go. Perhaps you say, I want to, in 3 months, be able to run a 5K. So every day you're pushing yourself a little bit more to be able to get to a 5K. Or you can even do it where it's timed. And you say, okay, I'm going to run for 5 minutes and see how far I can go. And then in 3 months, I hope to progress to eventually be able to run more than that amount. And the last one I want to share with you is perfecting your form. So this is a great one, really for anyone. Anyone should be working on perfecting their form. And so one way to do that is to film yourself. Do a specific exercise, workout, film yourself, and then go back and watch it. Identify where do you need to perfect and adjust things, and then say, hey, in 1 month, I want to be able to film this again and have my form be perfect. So what are you going to need to track your progress? Here is my recommendation. First of all, give yourself a date in which you want to complete a specific goal. Write down what your goal is. Know it, make sure it's detailed, it is both timely, manageable, specific, okay? And then create actionable steps. So write your goal and then take it back and say, okay, what needs to happen between then and now to reach that goal? You gotta think backwards, and you have to really be honest as to where you are right now. Also, taking a video is a great reminder because you can see how long it took you to do things, how you looked doing them, has your form progressed, when did you get tired and exhausted, do you have more endurance? So I recommend taking videos. I know some people like to weigh themselves. However, I think a picture does a better job of showing your physique progress because the scale doesn't tell you everything. It doesn't show muscle mass unless you have a very expensive and impressive scale, but your average scale is just gonna have a weight. It's not gonna tell you every other aspect of your body. So if you really are interested in having a physique change, then you would wanna take pictures. I recommend that personally over a scale. And don't forget to write down how long it took you to complete something, how many reps you were able to do, what progression you did, and if you had any weight, how much weight was added onto it. And this is something you can go back and you can try every month. Tracking, seeing how you have grown. Of course, in order to grow in that, you also need to be consistent throughout that month. Maybe you're not doing that specific exercise to see your progress, but you're working on the moves and how you can advance them so that the next time you track your progress, you've actually improved. If you just track your progress every month but haven't been working on it, it pretty much defeats the purpose. Lastly, here are things you can think about as you are reevaluating. And this is great to be able to do, especially if you take a video, because in the moment when you're working out, you're probably not thinking through these things, but if you're able to watch a video back of your performance, you can say, oh yes, I remember when this happened, or I can see my form here was bad. So tape a video and ask yourself these questions. 1, how did I look? How was my form? Number 2, what do I need to work on, especially in terms of your form? Number 3, what are resources or education I need to improve in this? Number 4, when did it begin to feel like a challenge, or when did it look like I was becoming more exhausted? This is a great one to kind of see. Maybe you were able to do 10 push-ups, but you saw that come push-up number 7 was when it was a challenge and you're shaking and your form gets poor. So those are things to keep in mind so that when you look back at it, you can say, oh, beforehand it really began to get hard at 7, but now actually I can do 10 and it's fine, so I should try to go for 15. Number 5, how did I feel afterwards? Afterwards, do you actually feel like you could have gone longer? Are you completely spent and need to recover for 3 days? Keep these things in mind. Number 6, what did I enjoy most? This is really good if you're doing multiple things, multiple goals, and you're able to see, wow, actually, I enjoyed trying to reach a numbers goal, or I enjoyed having 30 seconds and trying to do as many as I can, or I enjoyed doing this specific type of exercise. Maybe you realize I actually enjoyed running a lot more than weightlifting, or vice versa. And then the last one is having an idea of what types of things you want to improve. Are you wanting to improve strength, Are you wanting to improve endurance, stretching, balancing? There are multiple things you can work on. You can try to work on all of them, but maybe it's best to just stick with one thing for now. And once you feel like you've perfected that or have an understanding of how to progress in that, then move on to the next. Go ahead and press the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos like this.